I actually looked up the men who had the most children throughout history.
Oh.
I don't know. Have you ever done this yourself?
Is it like Genghis Khan or something?
Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan seems to be at the top of the list. He is rumored to have fathered between 1,000 and 3,000 children. He had an enormous harem, and then remember, he was sort of conquering large parts of the world, so wherever he went, he would add to his harem and so forth. Now, according to a 2003 study published in the American Journal of Human Genetics, 16 million people today are descendants of Genghis Khan, which is the equivalent of 1 in 200 people worldwide are actually related to him. This is the widespread effects of having a lot of children. Number 2 is the former monarch of Morocco, Malay Ismail ibn Sharif. He has between 900 and 1,200 children. He had a harem of 500 women. He fathered 525 boys and 342 girls. Next on that list is Berthold Paul Weisner, who had over 900 kids. This was a scientist who actually was using his own sperm. And he started around 1942 or possibly earlier to 1967 and would basically switch his sperm for mothers who needed, help in conceiving children. Next is Simon Watson, who has over 800 kids. He's a British sperm donor. He made headlines in 2016 where he claimed that he has sired over 800 children. He regularly posts updates. In 2018, he posted DNA tests, which matched him to 40 kids. And he made headlines in 2019 when he got 13 women pregnant in 26 days. Then there is Paul Eldon Kingston, who has up to 300 children. He is the leader of the Latter-day Church of Christ in Utah, where they're polygamists.
Oh, yeah.
He has 40 wives.
Wow.
He's still alive, by the way.
Okay. Is that's you say it like it's impossible.
40 wives. And then there's others. So you are really near the top somewhere. I mean, when you think about it, if you have 1,000 children and in the future, you could have a number like 1 in 200 human beings on Earth could potentially be related to you. Does that make you feel good, bad, or indifferent?
Yeah, I as a donor, look for me. People ask me about the number and the things, and for me, I see. First of all, I grew over the years. So of course, the first donor child was of course a beginning moment, and then more children are coming, and the number grows with you day by day, and eventually it loses its meaning, because for me it's not about a number. It's about families and children and new souls. So this might sound a little bit like vague or anything, but this is honest my feeling. Like people ask me like, how do you feel when you have so many children? I say, look, I basically live the same life as before, and I have no feeling that they think like maybe you have like these in a game you have like 3 green blocks, and I reach like the 10 blocks. I'm like the somehow I won or something, but it's I can say it doesn't change the brain in that way. I don't feel better than anybody else or than any man or etc. I do feel very blessed, and that is something I am very thankful for. That I have so many family in a sort of way. It's hard to say, but let's call it for either that they are sort of my family, and I'm blessed with every moment that I can share with them, and that I can be there for them. And I mean that honestly. That is for me like. That is a reward, and but it's not something that's something inside you, very small, and but it's interesting to see. I have no idea how it will be in 100 years.
Well, you're 43 years old, and you have close to 1,000 children, but you've never actually had a child with a woman and helped raise that child yourself. Lived in the same home, changed his diapers.
I did, but
You did?
yeah, but was not very long, and for privacy reasons, I will not like give more details. But you can ask me questions about how it was for me to be like 24/7 with children.
Okay.
Like my own children.
How long were you with that child?
It was for about half a year.
6 months.
Yeah.
That's not very long. The child's probably not speaking, definitely not walking.
No.
You didn't hear the child say Papa or Dada. You didn't see it take its first steps. I mean, you are missing out on a very beautiful human part.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And, that child would have a lot of siblings.
Yeah.
But I guess, why not? I mean, you're still relatively young. You could have a child right now. Why not?
Well, a very good question, and I really appreciate it, because when I started to change in 2017, 2018. I started to wanting to live more in nature, leave more the materialistic world, focus more on having animals and like homesteading, and I started to change. And then in 2000, and I started also to see that as a donor, I was constantly on traveling around. Like people are like, oh, he was traveling to all these places. Yeah, but it's also like a big stress to be in flights the whole time. Change the time zones, sleep in an airport on the floor because you have like overlap or something. And it's the bright side always has its dark side. And I was thinking, look, I'm getting older and I have this dream. I look at my parents as my example.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's not like you don't understand what a traditional family is. You grew up in one, and you've said nothing but positive things about growing up in that family, and yet you haven't experienced it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that this is like the way where I should have. I hit the brake and I started to slow down. And in 2019, I got a relationship with a girl. She was starting out as a recipient first, and I met her the first time, and she had like this aura around her, like lights. She was like an angel to me, and I was like in love, bomb. Like and we meet for like a donor arrangement. Like I would help her as a donor, but we found out that there was like a chemistry, and she was also like into living more off grid. She had her own like off grid house, and I was in love, but I wasn't really ready to stop with my donor activities. And I think that at that certain point, the relationship wasn't like progressing. And then I realized that I believe in God, so I believe that there was like a message like, you have to choose now. You are waiting this for a few years. You know what you want, because that's that family, traditional family, loving family, to be a father, real father.
Yeah.
Then she broke up with me.
Huh.
And I had the worst years of my life, like 1.5 years. The whole Netflix court case combined everything, that pain that I felt in that time, because I was seeing her. I see every girl that I get in a relationship with as a future wife. I never go into random dating or casual dating. I always go for somebody that I'm like, this will be the girl of my wife. So when she broke up with me for different reasons, I was devastated. And I immediately, what I did was I went to my laptop and I removed all the donor groups that I had and all the advertisements that I had. I say, I focus now on my own family dream.
Are your siblings married with kids?
Yeah. Most are married with kids. Yeah.
Your parents are still alive?
Yeah.
What is their take of this whole thing?
We don't. I I consciously separated them from everything because I want to have also my normal life. Because look, I know
but they all know now. I mean, because of this,
they knew all.
they knew the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, but the Netflix thing obviously put a magnifying glass on it.
Yeah, especially the things that they said about my family and all the recipients that know me. I talk only about my family, like praise and how good they are. And I even when I was with one recipient, she ran into my mom and she was like, "Your mom is the sweetest." And so it's really a bad thing. But yeah, they got confronted by it. And but like I say, we have our own family life, and it will not really be. There will be jokes sometimes, like like how do you call it? Like a joke about it. But I would not share pictures of tell a lot about it because I said I have my donor life and we have our life.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, to be fair, in Iceland, which is a very small country, very isolated, they have an app where everyone can look up to see if they're related.
I heard that, yeah.
To someone they're potentially dating.
Yeah.
It's an app.
Yeah.
So if you're about to date your cousin or potentially your sister, you could just both of you could pull up the app and say, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah.
So as technology progresses and because you're not the only one that's doing this, there's groups of men out there that are all doing this to different degrees, maybe not to your degree or maybe even more than your degree. Who knows? Apps like this may just become commonplace in the future. It's already being done in Iceland. What's to say it can't be done internationally? No one wants to have, kids with their sister. You know what I'm saying? So it is a thing. And you've also said that you're not a fan of Andrew Tate.
Well, I got linked to him because I somehow, every time people think that I'm some sort of macho or some sort of MGTOW or incel or like all these. I get named everything, but I have nothing not with Jordan Peterson. I have my own ideas, but
I don't get an Andrew Tate vibe from you.
That's. But I wanted to make look. Of course he says some valuable thing. I mean,
just like everyone else.
Yeah. But I'm more like into traditional life, and he's not a traditional man, like in a way. So,
well, final question. You were flown in last night. We have our interview here today. And tomorrow you have a free day. And then you fly out the day after that. While you're out here, there's a sperm bank about 12 miles from here. Do you plan on donating sperm in LA?
Absolutely not. First of all, I respect the verdict and I stopped donating. So there's nothing in my mind that's thinking I want to donate more. But another good reason is Europeans cannot donate in the United States because of the Chernobyl accident.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I read that. So when you were born like between 81 or like 79 and like 95 or something, then you're excluded as a donor. That's
Yeah, I actually grew up not that far from Chernobyl, but we moved before the accident happened. I sometimes think whether, I would have died.
I think you will go to the...
Yeah, I should go there. I should donate. So you're totally done with donation?
Look, I donate for the existing families with the same love and
So that's legal?
That's legal according to the case.
So families that you've already donated to, you could donate again to.
For siblings, yeah.
For siblings, but not to new families.
Exactly. So if one family, for example, wants 10 children and another one also 10 and another also 10, there will be 30 children more. But
so you could have another 1,000 children if you want, right?
If they all want.
If every family that you've donated to.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm not counting multiples, but roughly you could probably have another 500 children if you wanted to.
Well, my number is 550. That's what I am 100%.
But it could be higher.
But there are like 225 families because like most families have like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 children. So let's say roughly they have.
What was the most number of children that you've given to a single family?
I think one family has
5 kids.
Children. Yeah.
Those are all your kids.
Yeah.
Wow. What's That's interesting. So this family with 5 kids, is it a heterosexual
Yeah.
couple or a lesbian couple?
Yeah, heterosexual couple.
Heterosexual
Yeah.
couple. So the man just couldn't reproduce?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So the woman got pregnant 5 different
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, it's
by
one
you.
twin.
Oh, there's a twin.
Yeah, yeah.
So 4 times she got pregnant.
Yeah.
How many identical twins do you have?
Quite a few. Well,
There's identical or fraternal. So how
yeah.
many identical do you have?
No, identical, none. None.
Okay, but you have a lot of fraternals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like brothers, sister, is that right? Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Or just 2 brothers,
Yeah,
2 sisters who
but-
don't look alike.
Good, yeah,
Identical means that the embryo split, so they look exactly alike.
Yeah.
Well, Jonathan, thank you so much. You know, we flew you halfway across the world to tell this story, and you've been very open, very honest. Like I said in the very beginning, when I watched this documentary, I felt it was a hit piece, and I felt that it was important to get your side of the story because you refused to be part of this documentary, so we only got the side of the women who were upset at you. And I felt as a man that it's necessary to get your side of the story. And after nearly 3 hours, I think that we got a good idea. You've been very honest, very open. You haven't denied anything, but you did point out the discrepancies that just were not true in that documentary. It does seem that there was a lot of parts that they would kind of overstep reality and create statistics that aren't exactly true. You know, I remember I learned there's a phrase that's always stuck in my mind. There's lies, damn lies, and statistics. And statistics are the worst kind of lie.
Yeah.
Because they sound like the absolute truth.
Yeah.
But when they say you have 3,000 children, when they say that you were in Kenya making hundreds of children, and then you were going to all these other countries and hitting every sperm bank that you could and so forth, you cleared that up.
Yeah.
But it's not like you denied having hundreds and hundreds of children, but you just pointed out that those parts were wrong. So I appreciate you, coming in and clearing this up. And, ultimately, I think you did do a positive thing. There was hundreds and hundreds of families who would not have children if it wasn't for you. And I think you came into it with the right, with the right intention, and you didn't become rich off of it. But what was the most you've ever been paid?
Well, I must say the Germans and the French, they are more like, the Dutch are more like reserved with giving some money. But I think that actually one Dutch family, they gave me like 3,000 euros to go on a holiday. I went to Uganda, and they would.
That's still not that much money.
And they offered it was a gift. It was not like I was but for me it was like I was like this is if they want to express their appreciation, it was like sure I'm happy to accept it. But it's not like a lot.
Right, but it's not like you became a multimillionaire.
No,
by just giving sperm for the last
nobody can.
Couple decades.
Don't.
Nobody can.
No, don't make this the reason why you want to be a donor, guys.
Don't follow your footsteps if you're trying to become rich. Well, Jonathan, man, I appreciate you coming in. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. You were the first that I wanted to do the interview with because
I'm honored.
My Earth Angel, she said immediately, "This is a good guy. He is a good reporter, and you're new media." So I feel like the new media is more like balanced. They want to have the real story, and I can go here now back to the hotel feeling like this was I've been treated very fair. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and good luck with your show.
Thank you. You're very welcome. Peace.